Okay, join back. Okay, just join back. Okay, let's wait for this. What else should I say? Mr. Kalya, I think let's on group 2 more to join. Wait for group, I think. Okay, if you see here, I have declared the static variable inside, but I haven't initialized it, but I'm trying to print the contents. Okay, uh, when I try to compile the code, it says undefined reference to my structure static member. Okay, it is what it is saying. It is as undefined reference because it is not declared. Maybe declared or defined, or it is not initialized. Now I just made this as I just declared it outside. Now let me see. I'll compile what happens. Okay, just compiles without any issues. Now we can print the contents as well. Okay, now there is no std9. Okay, it just printed here. It has 0, and then I'll put an end line. Okay, okay. You see, the contents of it is printed. Okay, now I can initialize this to anything. Same. Okay, will be saved and printed. Okay, whatever I assign, I get gets printed. Okay, so one more thing is the member variables we are able to initialize here. In C, we're able to initialize it inside a structure.
No, sir.
Yeah, so same. Whereas in C++ you can do it. You can just see whether it's possible or not. So now let's print the different variable. What This is one more difference. Like you don't need to do that memset etc. and all to to initialize it. Like if you have a pointers and all, right, you can just say uh, uh, you can initialize it here inside the structure itself. Like I can put a pointer here in star pointer, and I can declare them as null. Okay, you don't need to redo it again and again because that will just bloat your code. Okay. So whatever value to which we initialize, that gets printed.
So I have a doubt here, sir.
Mhm.
So when we initialize inside the structure, right? So variable both the my struct variable and my struct variable two, both
Mhm.
will have the same value. That index value
Yes,
will be initialized to 1.
correct. The index value will be initialized to one. Member dot v will be initialized to whatever that you see here. So
Okay.
as many instances that you create, they all will remain same. I'll show you that also. So variables. Okay. Now if you see here, what do I have? I have printed the static variable. Here I am printing variable ka member v and variables 2 ka member v. Now as per our initialization, the content should be same. See here, the static value was 8 and the member variable were 6 and 6. Okay, I'm clear, right? I think this answered your questions.
Yes.
So okay, so now one thing that people always hate is they declare a class, they declare something static here, and they need to redo this again. Okay, so with new compilers, right? Okay, you don't need to do this. So, but you need to do some gimmicks. Okay, so what is that is you can use inline keyword and declare it to whatever value that you want. See, I have declared a static and do this. Here, if you see, my compiler is 11. Okay, this is an old compiler. This doesn't work on old compiler. And what I did is I asked my compiler to declare a variable inside and initialize it, a static variable inside and initialize it to 10. Let's me see whether this compiles or not in 11. See, inline variables are only available with C++ 17 and above. Okay, so it's a new C++ feature, not a old one. So we can get, let me see if I upgrade it to 17, what will happen? See, just compile. See, and it printed the value 10 and 6 and 6. Okay, so what I wanted to say here is show here is you can have static variables, okay, and you can initialize them, but the way you declare or define the static variables vary from compiler 11, 17 and 20 and after 17 you can just declare it as inline here, but it will remain same, like it is common among how many no matter how many instances you create, it will remain the same. Okay, I hope I'm clear on the second difference. Okay, in C it says you cannot have static members, whereas here you can have static members. Okay, and what is the point of having static members in C? Because you can have a global members. Okay, uh, why not is static member is also almost equivalent to what should I say, global variable. Okay, and there is no concept of public private in C. So if you know the member variable name, then you can just directly put static, I mean variable name and edit it. So there was nothing like that there. So there's no point in having static variable in C inside a structure in C. Okay, that is something that you have it in C++. Okay. So the other one is, the main thing is you cannot have a constructor syntax. I think I will introduce you to constructors now. So what is constructor? Constructor is a default function that C++ provides for structures or what is it, structures or classes. Okay, it is like a dummy function that it provides. Okay, using which you can make some changes to your uh, instances. Okay, now I'll write the syntax of that, or else maybe I'll write the syntax next. Before that, I'll go through the next one. Okay, next one is, as I declared, direct initialization of data members is not possible. Direct initialization of data members are possible. So direct initialization means I declare here whatever variable that I assign here, I can use it. Okay, so I can declare in some pointer is equal to null, I can declare, or I can declare this, v is equal to address of this. This also I can do. Okay. this, I think this should be this dot something. See whether valid conversion from, okay, so I didn't declare a pointer here. Okay, so I declared a pointer here. I can initialize it to null, or I can initialize it to point to something. Okay, let me compile it. Didn't save, okay, I didn't save it. Okay, see, it got compiled. Okay, so you can declare a variable and initialize it, pointer and initialize it, initialize to null, or point to something. So this is not available in C. This is something which you have in C++, because these are the problems, right? Whenever you write code, right, in C, you always do this: declare, initialize to defaults, and use it. Okay, if you don't do it, you see a crash. Okay, so to avoid all this, okay, they provide a way, like you just refer, if you, when someone is writing a class, right, just run through the class that they have written, then all the bugs you can identify in the class definition itself. You don't need to uh, you don't need to review their complete code. Just see the class definitions, okay, member function definitions. Then you can just predict how good their code is going to be. Okay, when and where it will crash. So you can predict a lot of things here itself. Okay, this is the one. So next one is writing structure keyword is necessary to declare structure variables. Here writing structure keyword is not necessary to declare structure variable. Let's see. So did I use struct? No, I didn't use struct. Okay, you might be using some type defs and then using the type defs in C, but that is not needed in C++. Okay, that is one difference. Okay, next, do not have access modifiers. So this is important part, access modifiers. What are access modifiers? Access modifiers are like, there are three key access modifiers which are called as public, private, and protected. Okay, these are the three keywords which are introduced, which you can declare and make use of them in C++. Okay, but you cannot use them in C. Okay, this is one difference. So whether it applies for structure or class. Okay, all are same. There is no other any other difference. Okay, so I'll explain you as well what is public, private, and protected. This is one difference. Okay, next, only pointers to structures are allowed. Can have both pointers and reference to structures. I think this is a reference. I think this is what we had earlier. So in references are not what it's something what we covered in the previous class, right? So it is this references, what we covered in last class. It is this one. So I can have reference to an already declared structure. So this becomes another name to this. Okay. So this there in C++, but not in C. Concept of reference. Okay. This is one important thing. The size of operator will generate 0 for an empty structure, whereas size of operator will generate 1 for an empty structure. Okay. So we'll check this. Okay. What does an empty structure means? Okay. Empty structure, I'll just declare one and we'll see. The size. Okay, I have written the code already. So whether it's a class which is empty or whether it's a structure which is empty, right? Okay, I have declared the instances of them. Let's see what is the size. So it is 1. Okay, let's see what is the behavior in C. So see, if you see here, I'm using C++ compiler. Okay, now let's see if we move to C, what happens. I'm using C here. I just need to use a printf. So what did I do? I just declared a structure. It's a, you see, this is a C compiler. Okay, I declared a structure int main. Okay, I declared a variable. Now let's see what happens. Percentage, I should put here now. See, the size is 0. Okay, just print again. See, the size is 0. So on a C compiler, okay, the size of structure is 0, whereas on C++ it is 1. Okay, any questions on this?
How, sir?
Yeah, like, what is the
Size,
significance of that?
size
Okay, we
of
will come to
variable,
know.
that is.
Maybe we'll cover it later. I just forgot. I'll get you back. So it will use for that v pointer tables and all, I think. So that to provide those inheritance or to access to those v pointers and all. I'll come back on that exact with exact references as well. I'll come back on that. Okay. Okay. Now the size of is 0 and 1. Next, data hiding is not possible. Data hiding is possible. I mean, it is nothing but this one, access modifier specification. So what does it mean is you can declare some variables to be public and private. Okay, so that some are visible or some are not visible to people on the other end. So if I see here, I have declared member variable as the default access. Okay, so on a structure, the default what should I say? The default access type is public. Okay, so now I can modify it and see. So now everything is getting compiled. Okay, now let me see. I'll just make one of it public or private. I'll just make one of it as a which you are using as private. See, I declared this guy as private here. Okay, the moment I declare this as private, okay, is giving me a lot of errors. This is invalid combination of type specifier. And here I'm getting okay, this one. Okay, here I'm getting like my structure is inaccessible. So what does it mean is I am not I can't use this variable directly, like dot so on so something I can't use. Let me compile it. See, I didn't save it. See, what it says is member V, which is part of structure, is private within the context, which means no one from the outside can make any changes to this. Okay. So no one can call them directly or make any changes to it. So unless or until this is public or default in a class, in a structure. Okay, now I'll just comment this out. The same code I'll try to compile, it just works. Okay, so it just built without any issues. So other thing is I can make this protected. Okay, protected. What happened? Okay, I didn't conquer. See, I made it protected. Okay. Oh, now, even after declaring it protected, I don't have access to it. Okay, I'll tell you protected. What does it mean when to use it? Okay, so this is something which is not available in C. This is something which is available in C++. Okay, so this whatever the rules that I applied, right? They all apply for classes also. Okay, so whatever this that I have mentioned, everything applies for a class. Okay, one more thing is that inheritance part. So you can inherit a class, I mean a structure by another structure. So and it will look like the same. So I have a structure. Now I would like to inherit it. Inheritance, I think it's okay. Just declared a child structure here. No, I didn't declare any variables. You see, I just inherited it. I didn't declare anything. Now I make all my variables as part of my child structure. Okay, all variables are no longer my structure. They are child structure ka instances. Okay, now we'll see whether we can compile it. Okay, it's protected. What is protected? Okay. Okay, see now it just compiles and I can run it. See, it just works. So this is called as inheritance, wherein uh, you get the property of a child, I mean a parent class into a child class. This is something which you have in C++. This is not something which you have it in C. Generally in C, what you would do, you would declare it as member. Okay, you would declare one instance of it and use it. This is how you would use in, okay. I'll remove it. Okay, this is how you would do it in C. C, whereas in C++ you do it in this way. so that you will have one instance of whatever it has, and you are carrying the properties. Okay, here you are carrying the properties, but here you are having a property. That there is a lot of difference. Okay, and that is called as composition, or something else comes. Okay, that's part of design patterns and all. Okay. Okay, so far I think I'm clear on this, right? Guys, have any questions on differences of structures from C or C++? So only thing that I need to get back to you is what is the significance of that size, right? Okay. Okay. Now the another important topic is structure versus classes. Okay. See, they are almost the same. Okay, structures versus classes. Only thing difference is in order to make a C code look similar to C++ or behave similar to C++, right? The default access of everything, right? Of every members or member functions, right? They are public in a structure. Okay, but in a class, they all are private. I'll just rename this structure to class. Okay, you see, I just renamed this to class. Now Kundya Shahu, you just wrote something. I don't know what it is.
No, sir, I'm identifying means this part, how is it happening? So that's why the child is talking.
Okay,
Oh.
child is like inheriting. I'll show you maybe. So what it means is, see, when you are declaring a new structure, right? And you want to have the same variables that you have here. Okay, you want to have the same variables, same functions and all. So either you can copy paste them here and write one more structure. Okay, or else you can say inherit. So you just declare it here, so they all become part of it. That's one thing. There is no difference between that and this. Okay, so
So
here
we
where
can insert multiple child structures.
multiple
Also.
structures, multiple structures. I can insert my class or my class, comma something else, some other class, some other class, some other class, like that. So multiple structures you can inherit, or multiple classes, something like that you can inherit. So okay, so the difference between class and structure is, the only difference in C++ is the default access type. See, earlier when I declared it as structure, right, everything was public. The moment I declare it as class, they all become private. Everything become private. Now you see warnings, errors, errors. See, redefinition of structure child. Okay. See, in my class, static member is private, or all the members. Member v is private. Okay, everything that I'm trying to access, it is trying to set as private. Okay, so what should I do? Whenever I declare a class, whatever that I want to use outside, right, I should put them as public. Okay, so along with struct class, if I use public on top and I never use public, private and protected again, right, there is no difference. They all are almost the same. There is no difference at all. Okay. So now I declare it as public. Now if you see static member, member v, everything is accessible. There is no error here. So I just compile, just ran. There are no differences. The result is also same. The behavior, everything is also same. Okay. So you understood the difference, right? The difference between structure and classes. So what we covered initially, difference between C and C++ structures. Now C++ में what is the difference between structures and class? It is this one. This public, everything is public in structure. You can by default you can override that as needed. Whereas in class everything is private. You need to specify public on top. Okay. Apart from that, there are no major significant differences.
Hello.
Yeah.
Hello. Sir, I have
Yes.
one doubt. Whenever we declare a data member inside that class,
Mhm.
we should give access specifier private or public.
Okay. Okay.
Which one will
Now,
give? Which one will be more appropriate?
okay. So now it depends whether you are writing an application or a library. Okay.
Sorry, I'm
If
not
you
getting.
it depends if you are writing an application or a library.
Application or library in the
Do you
sense?
know the difference between application and a library? Shared library, dynamic, static library.
Mhm.
Okay. Okay. See, okay, why we use classes? Classes we use the reason why classes or C++ came in is to write a secure code, safe
Mhm.
and secure code. So, and we tell people and we allow people to do only few things. What we need, object-oriented programming. मतलब you give a web page. Assume you are giving a web page. Okay. So web page में क्या देखते हैं, like what we see is you assume you have a Gmail login page, right? What we will ask people to do, we'll give a two entry sections wherein input text bars रहते हैं where you can enter your mail ID and password and hit sign in button. Okay, these three we give. Okay, whatever happens behind it, right? Where the variables are stored, how the sign in happens, all these are we are hiding. It is nowhere related to anyone. Okay, whether the name that he has given, whether we are storing in int, okay, char format or my string or any other data type, it should not be something which we should show or expose to anyone else. Okay, so whenever you declare a class, right, keep all the variables as private. Okay, and most of the functions also as private. Okay, only few protected. Okay, and few and rest which customer really wants as public. Okay, so that is something. Okay, how the interface when you we'll go through that section interface. Okay, what is interface? Matlab, how will you connect your class with your application?
Yes, maybe between its connection between one medium to another medium.
Yeah,
That is
so interface matlab
interface.
though interface matlab it's this is a class, okay,
Mm.
which your main application is using.
Mhm.
So what is his job? His job is only one thing. He actually doesn't need to do any of the thing that we are doing here. Generally, what we do is I declared a variable and I declare do something, collect data. Okay, you can write some function like this. You collected the data, calculate result, calculate. You will say calculate result. Next one is display result. So this is how you would actually want to write a object oriented program. Matlab, so this is how your final code will look like. I have a main. Okay, I am only exposing four things. One, how do you declare it? Then how do you collect? How do you collect and fill all the variables one after one? You can write std in like a console से ले सकते हो, or else I can read it from a file, or I can read it from a message queue, or I can read it from a TCP socket. Okay, I can, that is strictly up to me. Okay, then calculate the results. Now I collected the data, now I'll calculate whatever that I want to do, then I will display. Okay, so this is how you would write, okay, a
Mm-hmm.
C++ code. So most of the variables that you declare here, right, they all will be private. Only these three functions you will expose as public. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so this is
Means
the
member function, which one you want, a customer who want, that one we should declare as a public, or rest
correct,
data members and all we should give as a private.
correct. And if they say in collection data, see, you have given me an way of collecting data via console, but customers say, no, 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 I don't want to collect it via console. I would say I have a file and I want it to be collected via file. So we can still, you can ask them to override this. Okay, I'm giving you a class, you can inherit and you can do whatever modification you want. Okay, that is virtual part where they will write on top of this code. Okay, and they will collect data from a file. Okay, so तब क्या करेंगे? Then they will inherit it. They will inherit whatever they want, and they will overwrite the collect data function in their customer class. You can rename
Oh,
this.
okay. And one more thing, sir, वो protected member कहाँ पे यूज होगा?
इधर ही, this is the one. ये collect data जो है ना,
हाँ.
so I think by default you declare it as okay. You have certain functions which your client can use it. Okay, there are certain functions which you can write here. Now, apart from collect data, we can write something else like constructors, so etc. or some other functions. Okay, which customer doesn't need, but you are giving it to some other developer. Okay, who is trying to build another structure on top of it, and he wants to call the functions again and again. That's when you use the protected member. Okay, we will go through that with good examples. Okay, so then we will understand when, why, and how to use it in a right way. Okay, so apart from this, are there any differences? We'll check. Okay, okay, okay. Difference between yes, I think.
Hello, sir. It's got
Yeah.
disconnected, so I joined again.
Yeah, it got disconnected for all. I think we are crossing too much of time. Second meeting got it.
So tomorrow will continue or today?
No, I'll just finish off this few. Okay. They are not much. Okay, it is just orally. Because most of them then I have joined. Yes, it won't take much time. Who else? Okay, I think all joined. Okay. So what is the difference between class? I think the members of classes are private, whereas in structure it is public, it is covered. Next one is an instance of a class is called object. Okay, then an instance of a class is called object. This is for our reference. In coding, no, you would not see anything. It is just how we say. So whereas here, an instance of a structure, we call it as variable. Okay, that's all. Next, members of a class are private member structures or anything. Okay, members of a class structures or public. It is just copy paste of this. Okay, there is no difference. So the members of a class are private. Members of a structure are public. That's all. Next, declared using class, declared using structure. No, it doesn't make any sense. Now, when we use it, it is normally used for data abstraction and further inheritance. Okay, it is not, whereas structure. So what I meant to say here is, so if you are writing a structure or a class, okay, and you want someone to inherit it, okay, matlab you want to do something, you or someone else want to do something like this, a customer class on top of someone want to write a customer class which is a copy paste of a base class, and you are trying to make some modification of it, then prefer using okay classes. Okay, but if you want to stick to C style way, okay, then use structures is what it says. Next one is null values are possible in class. This is not, I'm not clear what is null value. I think you can assign null value everywhere. Null values are not possible in a class, not possible in structures. I'm also not clear with this, and I haven't seen or encountered anything like this, because you can declare variables or to null. Okay, there isn't anything like this. It's gone. Okay, syntax. Here you declare class, here you declare structure. That's all, nothing else. Okay, that's all I wanted to cover. Okay, for today. Maybe tomorrow we'll start to write the constructors, default constructor, parameterized constructors. Then we can talk about copy constructor. So all these things we can actually talk about in the next classes. Okay, any questions that you guys have on this so far?
Sir, if I'll get any doubt, then I'll ask in group.
You can ping in that WhatsApp group is there, right? You can ping me. I'll
Yeah,
reply.
yeah, sure.
Okay. Tomorrow, you guys are okay for me to have a class? If you guys are okay, then we'll take it, because last week I think we took a couple of breaks. Okay. So since I declared classes, next week if we take classes, structure, constructors and copy constructors, then that should be good. Let's see what we need to cover. Lot.
Sir, from which document we will study C++ Geek or any other sources are there?
See, the best way to learn C++ is first complete studying C++ complete reference. Okay, he will
C++
teach you
complete reference.
complete reference. It's a Bible of 1,000 pages. Okay, you just keep opening it. Okay, just study it. That's all. You don't need to write, practice, or do anything. Okay,
So
that
can just show it once in Google. It's available.
Yeah, it's available. You can just go and download. You can just type. Yesterday also I pinged the link.
See.
Yes. C++ complete reference. Okay, you can go to this GitHub link, second one. Type just C++ complete reference. Go to this complete
Have it.
Okay, so with this you will learn C++ 2011 or 14. Okay, is a book you can go and download. Okay, so with this you will learn only C++ programming. Okay, you will not learn anything with respect to OS like threads. You will not learn mutexes, IPCs. They all you will not learn. This is just plain C++. Okay, how do you declare classes, objects, how to use STLs and all. That's all. I think it doesn't cover threads and all, but this guy will help you understand what is class, inheritance, etc., etc. So once you understand that, right, that is then the real fun comes. Post that you will really learn a lot. Okay, so even for all, I'll refer this one. First, complete this book. Okay, then you can do C++ 14 ka modern C++, oops C++, design patterns, this, that, threads, thread pools. You'll have what should I say, design patterns, ki taraf, singletons, uh, uh, so builders, factories. They all are styles. Matlab, uh, like how you have like design patterns help you build houses, something like build help you build projects. Like when you say house, it can be a bungalow, it can be an apartment, it can be a villa. They are or final end. So design pattern help you build an application, whereas C++ is a basic tool. Okay, like they are bricks and cements, whereas design patterns are like how an engineer will design a house. So they all and how you complete some work. So first complete this book overview. He will give you okay the difference from C से लेकर कैसे आप C++ तक जा सकते हो. Okay, so he
Okay.
will first chapter he will revise your C skills. Then he will start the C++. So most that I cover, right, it will be almost similar. C++ class क्या है, object क्या है, arrays, pointer, references, function overloading, copy constructor, default operator. Okay, so in this you will have some part. Okay, but in industry C++ 14 you will have something like move operators, reference operators. Okay, which this you will not find. Okay, so if you see it doesn't have something some examples like smart pointers, unique pointers. This you may not get there. Okay, let's see whether this is here. Unique and transfer, unique copy you have. So these are like garbage collectors. All these things and all are not there in this book. Okay, but these are part of C++ library. Okay, so this is something which you would. So if you are writing, if you are moving to C++, why you will move? Because of smart pointers and all. Okay, so which will help you clean the code. Like I can create a variable on heap and go on. Compiler will write the code to delete the item from heap. Okay, so all those things, magics and all, I have added it. So which you will not find there, but you can find them in articles. Okay, you can take these keywords and search in internet for C++. Take these keywords and put C++. You will learn them a lot. Okay, first you declare class, then we can go to the implementing our own string class. Okay, during operator overloading and all. Then you will understand a lot. And inheritance is also part of that book. Polymorphism you will find in that book. Typecasting you will find in that book. Exceptions also you will find in that book. Namespacing you will find. Class templates also you will find. STLs you will find. Okay, containers. This you would find, but you would not. Yeah, you will definitely find all these things. Strings, this is also fine, but this will rest you will not find. I think it is something related to Linux. Like, how do you writing an application? Like introduction to threads, future asyncs. This you will not find in your in that books. Okay, all this becomes part of modern C++. Okay, so maybe you can refer this link as well. Others were OS. Different people have written it. Okay, this guy is still alive. Okay, so you can just go through the list linking. There are different books. Thinking C++ introduction. It's huge. Okay, everyone says a subject. Expert in something. Okay. Okay. Hey, anything else, guys, that you want to?
No, no, sir.
Okay. Thank you. We'll wind up class for today. There are no doubts.
Okay,
Because
tomorrow we have a class same time, next 8:30.
Yeah, I think if others are okay, we'll do it. Else we'll skip. So please vote in the group. Okay, if you guys are joining tomorrow. So that I think Lipsa is not there. I think we'll collect her. But Guru, you are fine, right, for tomorrow?
Yeah, yes, I'm fine. Yeah.
Okay, tomorrow is Saturday, right? I think it should be fine. Okay, guys. Thank you. See you tomorrow.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.